I'd like to introduce next Sara Chave. Sara's company is Replenish Zing. Sara did not start out wanting to be a therapist, but was an artist for nearly a decade. When she was in her 20s, her life took a dramatic turn as she traumatically lost her fiance and her baby. She felt such deep grief that she began withdrawing from life, and the coping mechanisms that had served until this point in her life failed completely. She was on a quest to find something that could help her, and so began my journey of healing and transformation. For 20 years now, Sara has worked as an energy medicine practitioner of a traditional Chinese medicine-based therapy, Acunet and Body Talk. She is also an associate instructor of the Universal Healing Tao. I'd like to present to you Sara Chave and her presentation, Creating New Earth. Thank you to our platform, Sara.
Thank you for that wonderful introduction, Enolia. I'm totally delighted to be here. And I have to say, you know, listening to all the other speakers, I just felt my heart opening. And so I just feel that you're doing, you know, what you want to do, achieving with expressions of humanity, because I'm certainly feeling that humanity within me right now. So thank you so much. So right now I'm in Portugal, but I'm originally from the UK. And 2 years ago, I decided to move myself and my family in order to explore a more sustainable way of living. So for me, it wasn't just about that physical shift of moving off grid and growing my own food. It was about the consciousness shifts that I was undertaking to live a simpler and more empowered way of life. And what I realized is that we're all going through this kind of transition in our life at this time on a collective level, because there's just been so much letting go. You know, we've all felt very shaken up, you know, kind of being locked in lockdown, where we had so much loss that even at some points we lost that sense of touch, you know, for some people. So what's happened is we've needed to go within to really look. It's been an immense opportunity to go within and really look and see what's there. And for a lot of people, that's been very, very painful. And it's been about really looking at the emotions and being present with what's there. But what I would like to inspire or encourage is for you to see this as an opportunity, to really see this as a place of possibility for really looking within and seeing those possibilities, seeing this opportunity to reinvent ourselves and our life. Like for me, that meant sort of traveling across the, you know, come across to Europe to do that. But, you know, we can do that with literally just shifting something in our consciousness and in our awareness. So it's this paradigm shift that I'm working with of exploring this new earth, you know, how we can move out of old ways of being, old paradigms, old kind of conditionings that perhaps we've had our whole life, and really exploring those opportunities to reflect and reevaluate. So I ask you, can you see the opportunity to grow with this experience, to be like a lotus flower that rises up through the mud, through the dark night of the soul that a lot of us have experienced, and really carve our way up so that we kind of blossom despite the adversity, because all of us have shown such endurance to have got through this time. So for me, what happens when I start to look at, you know, this kind of reinventing, it always comes back to well-being, because that's my interest. So I'm interested in exploring how can we kind of make our healthcare more sustainable. And at the moment, in our current Western model, in a way, we give our power away, because we can tend to just kind of go to the doctor for everything. And whilst that's necessary, in certain situations, for example, in an emergency, we're not going to be doing surgery at home, anything like that. So there's a time for going to the doctor. There's a lot that we can also bring back to ourselves by re-evaluating our relationship with self-care. So I've been looking to other cultures to really see how they kind of work with this idea of empowering themselves with their own healthcare. And in the Orient, there's this kind of idea of a multi-leveled or tiered approach to health. So, for example, everybody knows a few acupuncture points. Perhaps some people know a little bit of acupressure or massage. And perhaps you'll go to a grandmother who would know about a few herbs that you could put in a stew if you're having digestive issues. So it's this idea of looking within your community for empowerment and looking within yourself for empowerment with your health. So it's coming into that sovereignty and that self-responsibility. And this is not a difficult concept for us to understand, but it's just not in our thinking in the West, because we have this interventionist approach where, because with the medical world, if we didn't train in it for many, many years, it's mostly dangerous. We wouldn't want to be doing this, just kind of experimenting in medical things. What if we had a safe and non-invasive approach that could balance ourselves on all levels? So we have the kind of idea of first aid in our culture, of going to, doing a little bit of first aid at home if need be, but we don't really have that so much for our emotional well-being, for our mental well-being, and for our spiritual well-being, so that we can become truly holistic each day by practicing self-care. So how can we balance ourselves on each level and empower ourselves and look to the community for resources? So I'm hoping today that I'm really encouraging you to really kind of have a re-look at how we can do that. I actually offer a self-care class. It's called AccuNect Self-Care. And during the class, you learn a 3-minute routine where you can balance all your energy systems within 3 minutes. You balance your nervous system, you balance your emotions. It also reduces stress, which there's certainly no shortage of in our world. So if you'd like to find out more about either the work that I'm doing with self-care or the work that I'm doing to help people transition through these times, I'm also doing a lot of work around creating new earth, this idea of moving into new ways of being, really seeing this as an opportunity to grow and work together as a community. So it's really embodying what Enolia and Christina are doing here, because we're all working together as a community to support each other today. And it's just such a beautiful thing when we do this and we work together and support each other. So thank you very much for the opportunity to speak today. It's been really wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sarah. It's an honor having you here. I loved your speech. And when I said the title, Creating New Earth, me being where I am right now, my mind went completely different place. Okay, what she's going to talk about, what Sarah's going to share with us. And then you came to, in a way, to explore a new and more sustainable way of living. That was awesome. It's something what everybody needs to know right now, and you said we are shifting collectively the collective consciousness. And already correct if I'm wrong, okay? So there is a paradigm shift happening right now, where people actually do not really understand what's going on. So we know that something is happening. We feel it, okay? There's this energy of shifting, moving from the very masculine, very patriarchal, very, no offense, Nicolas, okay? But there is this shift happening and people don't know how to react. They don't know what does it mean. But actually this means going inward, looking for new ways, different ways of taking care of yourself. taking care of your body, of your mind, and of your spirit. And as you said, first aiding, right? Give a little bit of first aid every day to your emotions, to your spirit, right? And I'm sure, I know that what we are doing here and the message when we're going to share, maybe they will not understand it right now. Maybe someday will, but it will be there planted in their minds. It will be planted in every cell of their bodies. And sooner or later, our energies, our messages, and what we are doing is gonna come to fruition. It already comes. So thank you so much, Sarah. I loved your lotus example. I loved it because it comes from mud. And look at that flower. Isn't that beautiful? I mean, that's who we are. That's what we are trying to help people to become, right? So thank you so much. I really appreciate you.
Thank you so much for the opportunity. And I just really encourage people to, allow themselves to sit with the uncertainty, because it's in getting comfortable in that uncomfortable place that we can really start to reinvent. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Sarah. I love that. And it goes very well with what Mary said about change, right? People usually are afraid of change, but change is part of our lives. So yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much, Sarah. And that uncomfortable place is how we grow. And if we choose to grow, then we're always going to be uncomfortable somewhere, somehow, some way. And that's the sign to grow. That's how we expand our boundaries, and that's how we make that which is uncomfortable comfortable. So thank you again, Sarah.